भद्रं कर्णेभिः शृणुयाम देवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैस्तुष्टुवागुंसस्तनूभिः व्यशेम देवहितं यदायुः स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति नः पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्टनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु ॐ शान्तिः 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 हरिः ॐ।
Dear friends, welcome back to the study of the Mundaka Upanishad, and we have started on the second chapter of the second Mundaka. And what have we studied? We have now come into an area where Rishi Angirasha is trying to teach us and instruct us how to concentrate our mind, known as how to meditate on the Absolute. The problem is, we say it absolute and we define it with words. It is infinite, it is absolute, it is so and so and so. All words. And we are said, you concentrate on it. But how can I concentrate on an object which is not perceptible? This is a problem which was existing at that time when this Upanishad was written or when it was pronounced, recited, and it is even today the same problem. You say it is infinite, you say it is eternal, you say it is absolute, it is not perceptible by sense organs. You are describing it like that. At the same time, you are telling me to concentrate on that absolute. This is the problem of a modern man who wants to study the Upanishad and who wants to profit from the study. So, dears, let me have the freedom, let me crave your indulgence. Please bear with me. Let me try to create a platform which all of us are acquainted with. Then we will be able to follow the instructions that has been given. Now, what is the instruction in this beginning of the second khanda of the second Mundaka? He gives you an example of a bow, an arrow, and a target. The bow, an arrow, and a target. The bow is fitted with the bowstring. He makes it as an example. In our worldly life, in archery, what do? We see that the bowstring is very taut and tight. And then we hold the bow at the central base and then stretch that string as far as we can behind our ears. The left hand holds the bow and projects as much as the left hand could, and the right hand holds the arrow, the hind part of the arrow, along with the bowstring, and pulls it. And then you will set your sight correctly on the target. and you let the arrow go. That is archery. And if you are correct, the arrow pierces the target, and the steel part of the triangular head of an arrow get immersed into the target, and its identity is lost. You don't see it anymore. Why? It has penetrated inside the object, the target. This is it. And he says, this is the process of your meditation. So dear, let me prepare a platform, sitting onto which, standing onto which, all the remaining examples that will be given to you by the Upanishadkar, Maharishi Angirasha, will be readily, easily understandable to you in our modern perspective. So please bear with me for a while, and I crave your indulgence. What is the trick of the trade? We discussed it sometimes during our Bhagavad Gita classes also. The matter is the same. How to manifest the potential divinity already within us. This is the subject matter. And there are, if you look at it as a circle, there are 360 degrees from which you can come to that central point. So let us try and find out how do we go about it. We have seen this Upanishad has introduced to you two types and two branches of learning, knowing. Apara, not so sublime, and para, sublime. We have understood it. What is apara vidya? All that learning, all that process of education and learning that helps us to know the nature and the world where we live in and educate ourselves to manage the forces of nature at play externally to us. And managing means knowledge is power. I know, and as soon as I know, I have control on it and I can make use of it. Knowledge is power. So, apara vidya vishaya is appertinent to this world. How does it work? Let us be very, very elementary so that once for all, we have our platform ready. I am a biological entity, most evolved of all biological creatures that the world sees. And the evolution has expressed itself in few avenues known as our faculties. We are rational. We have the power of discretion and discrimination, where other biological creatures are instinctive, guided by their instinct, and we are guided by our intelligence. Intelligence, rationality is one of the brilliant faculties of a human being. Emotionality, capacity to feel and capacity to enlarge your capacity to identify with the world. Emotionality, involvement, attachment, identifying oneself, which is not my true original nature or which is not me. I still know you and me are different, but I am attached to you, I am involved with you, with that faculty, knows an emotionality, love, affectionate, regard, respect, call it by any name. That is what I have. I have ingenuity. That is, I have the capacity to discriminate and to decide what I would like to do, what I would not like to do, and what I like to do, I know how I will go about it. Kartum akartum annatha kartum va shakyam. This is inherent in me. And finally, I have a unstoppable, unbreakable willpower. And that willpower takes a man to the top of the Everest or at the bottom of the Pacific Ocean. In deep deserted desert or in deep forest. I have that willpower. With these faculties with me, I live in this world and I interact. How do I interact? With my 5 sense organs. I interact by my vision, I interact by my hearing, by my smelling, by my touching, by my tasting. And I say, I know by seeing, I know by hearing, I know by smelling, I know by tasting. These are my avenues of acquisition of information which I say, I know, I know, I know, I know. And the ball starts rolling. While knowing, stupid that I am being conditioned by my likes and dislikes, and I get attached and I start disliking. I become a victim of liking and disliking. Next step, when my liking arrives, I am in cloud 9 with happiness. And when what I dislike arrives, I am in deep depression. See how the ball starts rolling. I have identified myself with this body-mind complex, with all its faculties and failures and etc., etc., etc. With that, I live in this world. What is that living in this world? I interact with this world with my 5 sense organs. And I enrich myself by my perceptual observation. With that perceptual observation, I don't know how to limit myself. I identify myself with likes and dislikes. And in return, I become a victim of agony and ecstasy, sadness, misery, joy, and happiness. And my life flows on, and I'm quite at home. This is how our life flows in the domain of Apara Vidya. Now, this perceptual observation, because of our intellect, because of our capacity of thinking, because of our capacity of rationalizing, this perceptual observation, because of this faculty known as rationality, I raise my level of awareness in a subtle plane. How? An example. Before Newton was born, millions of people have seen ripe fruits drop from the trees. Anything that you lose hold of drops on the ground. There's a downward pull all the time. Millions have seen. It was left to Newton to cogitate upon it, to think upon it, and he experimented in many ways, and he found out there's a force acting in nature known as force of gravitation. Perceptual observation, seeing a fruit ripe enough to fall to the ground from the branch. That was perceptual observation. That rang a bell, and with his faculty of rationality, logic, and common sense, he found out what is known as force of gravitation. The world is moving very fast, rotating very fast. That is why there's a centrifugal force turning it, pulling it to the center of the earth. And the concept of gravitation developed. Perceptual observation graduates into conceptual knowledge. And that is how my life moves. Our life moves. But all of us, we know the starting point is I am. That is the starting point. I am. That is why I know, I think, I rationalize, I know my intellect. All that flows. I know, I know, I know. But I have no time, no inclination, no energy left to think, who am I, this first person singular number of English grammar. See the fun of the game. I am, that is why the world is to me, and that is why I am involved and interacting with this world. I know so much about this world and the external nature. I know nothing about who am I. And just to brush it off, I say I am. I am this body-mind complex. And when you say I am this body-mind complex, you are politely reminded, if you are the body, why don't you say I body? Why do you constantly say my body? My body, my mind, my intellect, my feeling, my faculties, my understanding, my ego, all mine. I am separate. Once this is suggested to you, either you are not interested, or you are so busy you don't have time for it, and the life goes on. Your life is being saturated by opera vidya, not so sublime knowledge, and all that happens to be in that domain, in that area. So, there is another branch of knowledge and knowing known as paravidya, so sublime knowledge, on which all other knowledges rest. If I am not there, nothing happens. My awareness of my amness is the starting point. Siddhehi pramatari pramanenesha bhavati purvam ittam. What does it say? First, you take it for granted, it's an axiomatic truth. I am. Because I am, that is why the world is for me. This is one of the main principles of a student who wants to study the Bhagavad Gita or the Upanishad or the scriptures. Who is this first person? Singular number of English grammar. In the Upanishads, there is a saying in another Upanishad, Paranchi khani betrinat swayambhu tasmat param pashyanti na antaratman kashiddhira amritatya ikshat abritta chakshur. Kashiddhira pratyagatmanam ikshat abritta chakshur amritattamichan. Very simple. Paranchi khani. Khani means indriyani, my sense organs. Swayambhu, the creator of this universe, the Lord God of this universe, He has created my sense organs in such a manner they are always going outwards. Paranchi, they are always on their outward journey. Paranchi khani betrinat swayambhu, the Lord God of the universe, He created it in this manner. Therefore, tasmat param pashyanti na antaratman. I see outwards. I have no intention, no desire, no inclination to see who am I. Kashit dhira, a very stable, mature, a man of worldly experience. He has seen through the ball game this outward journey. Endless pursuit. It doesn't know how to end. Whereas pratyak atmanam aishat, that awareness of my amness, I am aware I am, aishat, intensely desirous to know. A stable person, a mature person, a sober person who sees through this endless pursuit in apara vidya vichaya, he withdraws and he wants to know, who am I? What am I? Abritya chakshu apritattamichan. He pulls a curtain over his eyes. He stops his outward journey. And he tries to know, who am I? Now the third point, this is also very important for a Vedanti to understand. All of us in this world, I am told according to world census, there are more than quadrillion humans in this world. Each human identifies himself or herself with race, with clan, with family, with society, with country, with nation, ultimately with the humanity. I am a member of the human society, quadrillion and more. Each of them, they say, I am. Each of them say, I am. That is the highest common factor in human awareness, in totality of all humans. And each human says, the world is. I am and the world is. What is the highest common factor? The highest common factor is awareness of amness of each human being. And this previous argument, if you say you are the body-mind complex, why don't you say I body, I mind, I life, I energy? Why do you say mine and mine? Why? So this I am extends the whole cosmos. Isness and amness is the highest common factor of the world. Amness when I dive deep within myself. Isness when it is apara vidya vishaya. Both of them are highlighting satta and chetana. Sat, Chit, Ananda Swarupa. Why don't we experience that Ananda Swarupata is different? So up till now, this Upanishad has explained to you that look, ultimately, whatever you do, either today, tomorrow or day after, any point in your life, you will understand the futility of your journey of life external to yourself. The futility of it, the uselessness of it, the worthlessness of it, all your time, energy, life and everything is just being wasted in pursuit of nothingness. Why don't you pay attention to yourself? How do you pay attention to yourself? Because you are told you are imperceptible, you are infinite, you are endless, eternal, you are absolute, you are immutable. All these words means nothing to you, but it has to be brought within the purview of your capacity. How could it be done? This is the challenge that Mundaka Upanishad is placing. And let us grow up to that challenge. The first example that he gives you is Dhanu, Isha, that is Shara, and your efforts. What is Dhanu? Let us go to the fourth shloka. Pranava Dhanu. Omkar. Pranava is Om. Omkar Dhani. That sound. Om. Gross, subtle, casual, and beyond. The resonance of a bell. Om. That resonance is the suggestion of the Absolute. No words can define it. We are telling you, A stands for gross, U represents the subtle, Ma represents the casual world, the causal world, Karja Karana Sambandha, the ultimate ignorance, and that Ardhana, the Vindu, the nasal resonance, is that absolute. When you pronounce Om and concentrate on the meaning emanating out of that, the meaning is He is all pervasive, He is all permeating, He is present everywhere, He is eternal, He is absolute. And where do I find Him? It is my true original nature. An equation is being established. Don't try to see Him elsewhere. That is a far-fetched imagination. Let your perception, let your direct experience, na paroksha anubhuti, not indirect understanding, direct understanding of myself. I am. That I am is nothing else but a reflection, a chidabhasha of that eternal absolute. Where is it to be found? It is within me. Slowly and slowly, the process of the methodology of meditation is being developed. Pranava is dhanu, without which you don't have force in your arrow. So your source of energy is the concept of that immutable, infinite, eternal, absolute entity. Who is He? He is in me. What I know as I am, without all its limitations, it is He. That is the dhanu, that is the bow. What is the arrow? You are the arrow. The Jiva Atma. What I call as I am, what I call as I, that is the arrow. Pranava dhanu sharohi atma. Here Atma means Jivatma. This individual who wants to realize his or her true original nature. Pranava dhanu sharahi atma. What is that arrow? To make that arrow extremely efficient, what do? You sharpen it. You hone it. You polish it. You make it so smooth like a razor edge, so that you minimize the obstruction. A dull piece of steel and a sharp piece of an arrow. The dull piece of steel will hit the arrow and as a rebound will fall back. Where the sharp piece of an arrow, what it will do? It will pierce through the target. Sharam hi upasha nishitam shandadita in the previous sloka. Upasha nishitam, that is the word. Upasha means with upasana, with your self-disciplined culture. What is that self-disciplined culture? My energy today is flittering away through the 5 channels of sense organs. My energy is flittering away. I'm seeing and I'm pursuing, I'm hearing, I'm pursuing. Endless. My energy is being just wasted, flooded out. Upasha nishitam means with disciplined self-education, with disciplined self-management, you control your energy. And that energy becomes one-pointed avenue. that total energy that you generate moves in a one particular direction. You have polished and honed and sharpened yourself by your disciplining. That is the arrow which is you, your desire and your efficient management by disciplining yourself. Nishita means well sharpened, well honed, well polished. Sandadhita. Sandadhita means if you have seen an archery competition, they put the arrow on their hand, on the left hand, and then they put it behind the ears, and with this eye and the target, they find it out. Sandhanam kurita. You sandhana. That means you are totally concentrated. Remember that incident of Mahabharata. Though it is a deviation, but it will help you. Dronacharya, the teacher of weaponry to Panchapandavas, he wanted to find out to what extent the concentration, the habit of concentrating on the target has been achieved by the five brothers. So he starts. Here is the bird, and that is the bird's eye. Concentrate on that eye and tell me what you see. He says, sir, I see the tree, I see the branches, I see a bird, and I see an eye. Dronacharya says, yes, enough, you go. The other person says, I don't see the tree as such, I see that branch on which the bird is sitting. I see the branch and the foliage, I see the bird, and I also see its head, and then I see the eye. Good enough. Slowly and slowly, the field of vision is narrowing. Arjuna's turn comes. What do you see, Arjuna? Sir, I only see the round eyeball with a dark black ring, then a white ring, and then I see a black central point. And when I concentrate, sir, I only see the black central point. And Dronacharya says, you have seen it rightly. Now, Sandhita, Sandadhita, Sandhanam Kurya. Now point your arrow. Let it go. And he strikes the bullseye. This is an incident. What are you seeing now? You are seeing the word. That is why you are supposed to meditate. Concentrate on a particular figure. If the figure is not possible, a pair of beautiful feet. If that is not possible, the compassionate face and those beautiful compassionate eyes. And you equate with it. The whole world disappears. Upasha Nishitam. Through concentrated meditation, your mind is now such that all the energy that you generate is waiting to reach the goal. And you pull your bow, that means you concentrate your energy and let it go to one point only. Pranava Dhanu Sharohi Atma Brahma Tat Laksham Uchate. Brahma is your target. Apramattena bedhavyam. It has to be pierced without any confusion, without any hesitation, without any doubt, without a dissipation of your total energy. Apramattena bedhavyam. And ultimately what happens? The tip of the arrow, which is sharpened steel, it penetrates that soft object and loses its identity into that object. This Jivatma, with all its identities, lose its identity. His only identity is he is totally surrounded by, permeated by the object which he has penetrated. You don't see the object anymore. You don't see the Jiva Atma anymore. The Jiva Atma becomes Parama Atma. Apramattena bedhavyam. It has to be pierced without any confusion, without any hesitation, without any doubt, with all the energy that you generate within yourself. Don't dissipate it, don't waste it. Put it behind the arrow by pulling the bowstring. Pulling the bowstring is controlling your energy. Let it go. Sharabat tanmayo bhavit. As the arrow piece of the arrow loses its identity in the target, this Jivatma loses his identity in Paramatma. Now, as this is a gross example, people will say the arrow still remains. An example is to be utilized for the point of exemplification. Don't overstretch it. Ma ati prashnasi Gargi. Yajnavalkya warned Gargi. Ma ati prashnasi. Don't carry your questioning too far where there is no relevance to the goal under discussion. So, if this example doesn't suit you, forget about that. Think of the Parramatta River. River is nothing else but a bulk of water flowing between the left bank, the right bank, and the bed. We call it a river and you give it a name. And it flows through New South Wales. All that limitations. Now that Parramatta River, slowly and slowly by gravitation, reaches Sydney, reaches the Sydney harbour, and then it flows into the ocean. That bulk of water has irreversibly, inseparably, irretrievably has got mixed up with ocean water. It cannot be retrieved again. This Jivatma has shed all its mistaken identity and has identified itself with its own true original nature. This is, dear, the sum and substance of the instruction. That is, what you have to do. These are the words which are very important. What is that? Pranava Dhanu, this is one. Nishita Sangdadhita Saraha. Saram hi upasha nishitam samdadita. That whole line of the previous shloka. Shloka number 3. Ajamya tadbhavagatena chetasha. With your willpower, chetasha means your awareness, you pull all your dissipating energy into yourself and be a storehouse of energy. And let all that energy be spent on targeting your arrow, your laksha, your goal. And who is that target? Who is the target? The target is Brahman, Paramatma. And who is the arrow? You, the Jivatma. Now it comes to be clear, this is the instruction that Rishi Angirasha has to give. But dears, as I told you, the Upanishads themselves, almost all the Upanishads, in some form or other, contributes to this idea. What is that idea? As I told you before, Paranchikhani Batrinat Swayambhu Tasmat Param Pashyanti Na Antaratman Kashid Dhira Pratyagatmanamaishat Abritya Chakshur Amritattamichan. This is a way of life of ours. Not only this life, all previous lives. That is how we have been spending. Let us be one of those dhiras. Dhira means a man of steady, stable understanding. Kashid dhira, amongst these quadrillion humans, a handful of few handfuls. They are dhiras. They have seen through the ball game. And what is that ball game? Remember that poem from Swamiji? I am tired of this unending farce. This dream does please no more. This ever running, never reaching, nor even a distant glimpse of shore. I am tired of this unending farce. That is the definition of an attitude of a dhira purusha. Kashid dhira, a handful of such dhira purusha. Pratyagatmanamaishat, they want nothing else but to know thyself, know themselves. Who am I? Who is that? First person singular number of English grammar. Who is this I? And knowing full well, when I know who am I, in reality, I am immortal. Amritattva vashnute, I become one with immortality. This is so, we are prone to live in this world. Now, if I have to live in this world, and I can't quickly come out of it, is there any way to help me out? There's a way. Why don't you defy this world? Divinize this world. In theory, in principle, He is infinite, He is eternal, He is immutable, He is absolute. He is all permeative. Time and space cannot partition it, cannot parcel it, cannot cut it into pieces. It is eternal. If that is what He is, why don't I equip myself and educate myself to see the divine everywhere? That's a possibility. Today, I see the name, I see the form, I see the qualities, and I see the utilitarian value. My vision is confined to these four concepts: Nama, Rupa, Guna, Artha, Kriya, Karitya. Name, form, qualities, and utilitarian value. Can I not educate myself? I am. He is. He also says, I am. He also says, I am. All of us say, I am. Amness is everywhere. The amness is here. That amness is there. That amness is there. That amness is everywhere. So, why don't I add a fifth dimension, a fifth concept to my existing four? I see you. Your name is this. Your form and shape and size is this. Your qualities are these. And this is your utilitarian value in human society. I see all this. But he who resides in me as I am, resides in you as you are. Oh, let me also bring in this fifth concept. I and you are the same, essentially. God resides in me. God resides everywhere. Let me concentrate on my God, my Ishtadeva, who is everywhere. That's an education. Thereby, I am harmonizing two conflicting attitudes. Meditation in the hills and the caves and away from it all. You cut yourself away from the world to protect your diversification. Live in this diversity. At that fifth dimension, seeing the divine who is within you. He is everywhere. So you see the name, you see the form, you see the qualities, you see the utilitarian value, you see all of them. Now you educate yourself to see the divine presence everywhere. This is being said in shloka number 5. According to the values, according to the convention, according to the social consciousness of that time, 6,000 years ago, 5,000 years ago, they are saying, now you please kindly educate yourself. How? Jasmine, in which? Jasmine, tasmin, jasmine, in which? That in which, tasmin, that in which, tasmin liyate. Here, jasmine, though prithvi, antariksha, otam manasaha, pranasya sarvair, all that is in it. Who are in it? Though, Dulok, Prithvi, Antariksha, Bhur, Bhuva, Swa, or all the Swaptalokas, we are not bothered. Dulok, Golok, Bhulok, Swarlok, whatever it may be. Endless space. It is all in it. Sarvai Indrai Sarvai Pranai Sarvai Otam Manasaha Antariksha Prithvi Do Jasmine. In it. Remember that famous shloka of the Upanishad, Chandogya Upanishad? Tasma Jayate Tasmin Liyate Tat Jalam Shanta Upashate. That idea is being told here. Tam eva ekam janatha. Now listen to me, the aspiring soul, the sadhaka or the sadhika. Tam eva ekam janatha. Tam, that only. Eva, nothing else. eve binyoge, nothing else. Ekam janatah, try to experience that. Who is that? Atmanam, who resides in you. Anya vacha vimunchatha. Don't get involved in those previous worldly concepts. Anya vacha vimunchatha. Get rid of it. How do you get rid of it? You weed your lawn. You see the lawn, you see a weed. You pick it up and throw it away so that it does not reappear again. You weed the lawn in such a manner that particular weed does not come back again. You slowly and slowly, before it sheds its seeds, you uproot it. Vimunchata is that. You throw away from yourself the concept of diversity based on the concept of separateness, which is influencing your thinking. I am separate from you. But all of us say, I am. That awareness of amness is the highest common factor everywhere. That is Brahman, that is Atman. So, include that fifth concept amongst your concept here. Anya vacha vimunchata. Get rid of all these diversities, or giving reality to diversity. Don't allow any reality to it. Reality is that amness, Brahman, tam evam eka janatha atmanam anya vacha vimunchata esha amritasya setu. This is the bridge. Setu is bridge. Esha is this. Esha amritasya setu. This is the bridge which takes you from mortal life and living to immortality. This is how you go ahead. That was descriptive. This is instructive. Pranavodhanu sharohi atma was descriptive. Though the instruction is hidden there, that instruction is now being told to you. Live in this world. People have a very, very, very wrong impression that the teachings of this Upanishad, these Upanishads, makes you otherworldly, neglecting the present world. No. It teaches you how to live in this world by adding a fifth dimension to the existing four dimensions, which has a terrible hold on you and which is based on the concept of bhinnata, separateness. Avinnataya prapyate. That is, you become inseparable from your goal. Just like the bow and arrow, just like the arrow penetrates the target and loses its identity into the target. This Jivatma merges with the Paramatma and loses its own individual separatist identity. Let me read this shloka once again, and we call it a day. Jasmin do prithivi cha antariksham otam manah. Otam means is hidden in. Manah saha pranasya sarvair. All that we take in our life, everything included. Jasmin otam. Jasmin liyate. Jasmin. It is in it. There's no other existence. That is the substratum. That is the rope. You see snake and a torn piece of garland or a crack in soil or a watermark. Whatever you see, the rope is real, rest are all imaginary and wrong. Myth. Here also he says, in whom all this prana, mana, sarva indriya, duloka, bhuloka, antariksha loka, all of them are involved in it, installed in it. It is the substratum. Tam ekam eva ekam janatha. Know that unity, oneness. What is that? Atmanam. It is within you. And anya vacho vimunchataha. Now forget about the hold of these four concepts on you. Let that hold slowly and slowly relax. Let the hold of awareness of divine every moment of your life have a hold on you. That is the bridge between your mortal self and your immortal existence. This is how we should develop our attitude, how to live in this world. Friends, let us stop here. I have taken a lot of your time. And this khanda, this chapter, has probably 12 shlokas. From the last two shlokas, the third and the fourth and the fifth, up to the 12th, Sri Maharishi Angirasha will teach you 1,000 and different perspectives. How you look at this one problem. What is that problem? How this Jivatma can become Paramatma. And what are the methodologies? What are the attitudinal correction? What are the change and twist in your perspective is available to you to reach that goal? All these remaining shlokas till the 12th will teach you how to reach that goal. Thank you, dears. Thank you ever so much. We again meet next time. Thank you.
Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.